Nicholas. Nicholas. Hey, buddy. Wakey, wakey. Come on, sleepyhead.
But
Come
Mommy, I don't want to go to school.
I've got some great news for you. You don't have to go to school, but need you to wake up.
Why is it bright? Can it not be bright?
Take this. Get hydrated.
What happened last night?
Well, we ordered pizza so that we could finalize the script, and then you pulled out the 2022 IPCC report and immediately started drinking. Just before you passed out in the chair, you started screaming, "Just admit it, we're all fucked, you cowards, we're fucked to hell. And does anyone want that last slice?" And then you passed out in the chair cradling a bottle of whiskey like a little kid with a Red Ryder BB gun on Christmas. It was cute in a sad, bleak way.
Not one of my finer moments. Sorry about that, man.
It's all good. You ready?
Yeah, except... Where are my pants?
Oh, well, that is an excellent question. Hey, has anyone seen Nick's pants?
Did someone say pants? Found these bad boys in the fridge. Finally, I have enough crotchular room to breathe.
I don't know, man. I was blotto last night. I'm not the one wearing fridge pants.
Well, Brian, Nick needs his pants.
It's like I'm camping on my legs.
Oh, yeah.
This is,
Totally.
I could start a campfire in here.
Sam,
Well, you might want to be careful.
What?
they're just pants. Look at him. He's so happy.
I think something's living in there.
What?
Oh.
I don't want to.
Oh, he's so proud of those pants.
I know, right?
Well, can't shoot the show without pants.
Oh, I think I got some jammy bottoms in that box over there. Marked evidence.
All right, well, I'll get Brian to do it. Hey, Brian, can you grab that box of marked Brian! Brian! Brian!
What the hell?
Brian! Sorry, I'm really sorry, man. You weren't responding and Amara thought you were caught in a montage loop.
Okay.
Seen it with my own eyes. High School Morning Announcements 2012. Cheryl Banks. During the One Direction Club segment.
Somebody! Help! They're eating me! They're eating me! Oh, God! Welcome to Episode 2 of the Doom Report, a show where we are attempting to educate ourselves and you, the viewer, while chronicling the ongoing global destruction on this condemned rock we begrudgingly call home. A planet in the control of a few inept, atavistic supervillains with no grand plan and a frenzied free-for-all panic. Devouring every last available resource for themselves so they can sit atop our corpses and raise their lich-like fists to the carbon-choked sky and declare, "I won," before spraying their tar-like ejaculate onto the barren wasteland and cackling madly into the stillness of extinction. See? Learning is fun! Today, we will continue to examine the climate chaos ravaging the Arctic regions and the impending collapse of the Thwaites Doomsday Glacier. And we have a real treat for you coming up later in the show. I have also invited a good friend who works with the EPA to join us at the end of the show for a discussion on what we can do to fight against the tide of chaos closing in upon us. But first, let's catch up on what's been happening in the Arctic since our last show. On Friday, March 18th, parts of the Arctic were visited upon by a hostile heat dome. Associated Press reported that weather stations in Antarctica shattered records Friday as the region neared autumn. The 2-mile-high, or 3,234 meters, Concordia station was at 10 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 70 degrees warmer than average, while the even higher Vostok station had a shade above 0 degrees Fahrenheit, beating its all-time record by about 27 degrees Fahrenheit. According to a tweet from extreme weather record tracker Maximiano Herrera, the coastal Terra Nova base was far above freezing at 44.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It was also reported that overall the Antarctic continent on March 18th was roughly 8.6 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the baseline temperature between 1979 and 2000, according to the University of Maine's Climate Reanalyzer, based on U.S. National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration weather models. During that same time, the Arctic in general was a respectable 6 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the 1979 to 2000 average. The sadness doesn't end there. According to research by the Argentine Antarctic Institute, the emperor penguin is at tremendous risk of extinction in the next 30 to 40 years, thanks to climate change, my least favorite of the great old ones. See, these penguins give birth during the Antarctic winter. It is absolutely vital to have solid sea ice from April to December to safely nest their fledgling BB chicks so they have time to level up and grow out their stylish and practical waterproof plumage. If the sea is late in freezing, or it melts early, the newborn chicks, without their protective +3 armor or swimming skill proficiency, die from freezing or drowning. This very thing happened to the second largest emperor penguin colony at Haley Bay by the Weddell Sea from 2016 to 2018 and led to the deaths of almost all the chicks each season. It is believed that many of the adult emperor penguins moved on to the nearby Dawson-Lambton colony in a search of better breeding grounds. Continuing on, a little checkup on the Arctic sea ice extent since our first episode. According to this phys.org article, in late February, the ocean area covered by ice slipped below the symbolic barrier of 2 million square kilometers, around 772,000 square miles, for the first time since satellite records began in 1978, according to a study in the journal Advances in Atmospheric Sciences. The primary driver of ice loss was change in temperature and, to a lesser degree, shifts in ice mass. February 25th's record low, 1.9 million square kilometers, was 30% below the 1981-2010 average, bringing us even closer to the dreaded blue ocean event. And one last tidbit before we get to our Thwaites segment. Geologist Charlie Paul at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, with Scott Dallimore from the Geological Survey of Canada and Natural Resources Canada, along with an international team of researchers and one plucky octopus with a thirst for adventure, had the research article published online March 14th in the Journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. This is all research based on underwater surveys they took on the seafloor, on the shelf edge and slope in the Canadian Beaufort Sea. First in 2010, then again in 2013, 2017, and 2019. They collected this data using ship-based sonar and AUVs, or automated underwater vehicles. Basically, unmanned robot submarines that they could program or control. This technology assisted the researchers in completing high-res bathymetric surveys of the seafloor terrain, essentially mapping and rendering out Cthulhu's living room. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, a bunch of water nerds got their boring paper out in Eggheads Monthly. Wee woo. Yeah, well, that's because you didn't read it. Because if you had, you'd be going, holy dog balls, sinkholes you could park a Star Destroyer in are opening up in the Arctic seafloor. Paint my taint and put me to bed. You see, permafrost from the Pleistocene, which should be frozen solid, is gradually thawing and turning into liquid. And then whatever earthy crud was resting on top falls into the watery mucky void that was once solid permafrost, like a decoration-laden ice cream cake left out in the Arizona sun. The biggest of these monstrosities is 738 feet, or 225 meters in length, and 92 feet, or 28 meters deep. And they're slowly getting bigger. Hey, buddy. Everyone, this is Matt Foster, one of the writers for the Doom Report. What's happening?
Hey, everybody. Matt Foster, Senior Doom Report fact checker and punctuation consultant, and I'm here to just correct Nick a little bit.
Oh, did I get something wrong? Did I say Celsius when I should have said Fahrenheit?
No, much worse.
That sounds ominous.
You said that the largest of those sinkholes could have housed an Imperial Star Destroyer? I'm assuming you meant the standard ones we saw in A New Hope, right?
Yep.
Well, okay, the length of an I-class Star Destroyer is 1,600 meters, or 5,200 feet in length, and around 975 meters wide. And you say 407 meters in height. So your ginormous sinkhole is maybe what, like 225 meters? Not trying to be a dick here, but your assertion that it could hold a Star Destroyer is way off, and frankly, distressing, an insult to the public's intelligence.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're wrong on your Nighthawks movie podcast show you do sometimes.
I mean, we're wrong. Trevor's wrong, sure.
Yeah, like that one time when you said that this one actor was in the movie, and then your co-host Trevor was like, it was the other actor, and then you were wrong, so there.
That hurts, man.
Well, now you know how it feels.
Sorry, Nick. I was just trying to help. I was just trying to make things accurate.
Buddy, I'm sorry too. You want a hug?
Yeah.
Bring it in. Let's never fight again.
I agree, buddy. Fighting each other is bullshit, especially when capitalism is the real enemy.
Goddamn capitalism always ruining everything.
Okay, buddy, you go forth and you host the shit out of your show. I'll be over there minding my business in the writer's room.
I think you mean our show, friend. Go Team Doom! And we're back! I feel so wholesome and warm, which is good because it's about to get grim and frostbitten. It's time for our segment on the infamous Thwaites Doomsday Glacier. It's located there-ish, according to this map of Antarctica that always kind of reminds me of a generic horned dinosaur named Skippy or Throgsnar Cuttlebug having whimsical Arctic adventures with Captain Yeti. Anyway, Old Thwaites is the whitest glacier on our blue marble at 75 miles across. Thwaites is approximately the size of Florida. It's called the Doomsday Glacier because of its very real potential to raise sea levels, and also because it killed Superman back in '93, sending reverberations throughout the DC universe. Already, this chunky boy contributed to 4% of global sea level rise from just its meltwater. If it breaks it off nasty, Thwaites contains enough water to raise the seas by 2 feet, and if, out of spite, Thwaites pulls the glaciers surrounding it, we could be looking at a total of 10 feet of sea level rise. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Come on, follow me, gentle viewers. Well, hey there. Welcome to the drawing table of doom. Power of imagination and my limited artistic skills, we're going to crudely map out Antarctica and the anatomy of the Thwaites Glacier and its surrounding geography so we can better visualize the overwhelming horror awaiting us. You can do this at home too. If you don't have an art pad, you can use some paper and crayons or open up a drawing app. Blood and walls are great too. Alright, let's begin. First, let's start with Antarctica. With my trusty Sharpie here, let's fill in that generic horned dinosaur shape. Alright, so overall, Antarctica is about 5,500,000 square miles, which is about twice the size of Australia, making it the 5th largest continent on the world. Now, the ice goes down about 1 mile at its thickest before you hit bedrock. 90% of the world's ice is contained on this continent, 70% of which is made up of fresh water. If all the Antarctic ice were to melt suddenly, you would be looking at about 200 feet of sea level rise, give or take. Antarctica is split up into 3 major regions, okay? So over here, West Antarctica, East Antarctica, and the Antarctic Peninsula, or the horn of the dinosaur, if removed, ground up, and snorted by Galactus, the world eater, would give him an erection lasting until the heat death of the universe. And then these little dashes will represent the chain of mountains called the Transantarctic Mountains that starts along the peninsula and separates the east from the west. And this hot air balloon right here contains Penguin John Hurt and his family escaping the madness of the Eastern regime. The ice sheet over East Antarctica rests over solid bedrock above the waterline, giving it tremendous stability. Like an antique tea set resting on an altar cast from adamantium. The ice sheet over in the west, not so lucky. This section comprises a bunch of islands below the waterline. The ice sheet is resting on a mix of earth and water, and as far as stability goes, well, let's take that antique tea set and place it atop a waterbed, and under the comforter are a litter of snoozing puppies. Adorable? Yes. Stable? Not so much. I mean, have you seen them do the little running thing in their sleep? Precious chaos. Now, for the Thwaites Glacier, we're gonna do a crude cutaway, so we can see the guts, so to speak, of all this beautiful geographic goodness that wants to kill us all. This here is the glacier, right? And then it kind of moves into the ice sheet that extends over the sea. And then under the water, here we have the continental shelf of, heavy bedrock. And right here is the pinning point. It's basically a seamound that, or a little underwater hill that basically buttresses the ice sheet that hangs over the water. And right here is the grounding line. The line where the glacier shifts from resting on the nice, solid, dependable bedrock that's always there to give support and love and help it to be the best glacier it can, to resting on this bullshit water that offers nothing and is always taking. Now, the grounding line used to be here-ish in 2011. And then, here-ish in 2016. Now, in 2020, the International Thwaites Glacier Collaboration, or the ITGC, sent a robot sub called Icefin, which sounds like a lesser-known GoBot, down 600 meters below the surface. And they discovered the water was around 2 degrees Celsius above freezing, and that the grounding line had moved to about here. That little bit of extra warmth just snacking away at that ice, pushing it further and further back. Think of the warmer water as the Garfield to the grounding line's pan of lasagna. And as we can see, it's receded quite a bit since 2011, around 80 meters or 262 feet. Here, we can see, thanks to Icefin and its mapping technology, corrugations are appearing near the grounding line that are going to turn into much deeper crevasses like the ones we see here in the middle. These dramatic inverted crevasses, not my term, are melting at an alarming 20 meters per year. And these little guys here, called the terraces, are taking it at a more leisurely pace, melting at 2 meters per year. Researchers also discovered when they put their instruments on the surface of the ice that's floating over the ocean, the sheet bends and flexes in such a way that it acts like a pump that brings this salty water inland and up into these crevices, further accelerating the demise of the ice. Let's take a look at the top of the ice. From here, from the grounding point to the pinning point, and remember that seamound we talked about, which basically acts like a dam helping to hold this massive natural structure together. From here to here is almost 50 kilometers in length, and then from here to here, you're looking at 120-ish kilometers. This is the eastern ice sheet, and this is the glacial tongue. And what's happened on the surface is that it's started to develop this long crack. And from here over, it's basically just a loose conglomerate of icebergs. On the surface, it's starting to develop deeper cracks, spider webbing out like a broken windshield. And eventually it's just going to shear off, and then this will soon follow, probably. With glaciers, over time as it snows and snows and compacts, that ice just moves down onto the ice sheet and it freezes. But because of the warming, the ice sheet down at the end, which normally slowly breaks off and makes little icebergs, but then has time to reform, it's not having that opportunity, so it's just shearing off and getting shorter and shorter. And the pinning point here, eventually the ice will get so thin that it's just going to break off, and we will have horrible chaos. That's been the drawing table of doom. Oh shit, we gotta go, people.
Why does it smell like kale and bouillabaisse in here?
Ambra, get behind me.
I know you. You're that weird little gravy-scented butterball that covered my Punisher decal with a Lisa Frank unicorn sticker.
Had to be done.
I'm gonna fucking choke you like my chicken in about 3 seconds.
Okay, stay back, man. I came prepared for this. What? Don't come any closer! I swear to Christ, I'll rip it!
Don't do that, son. Let's not be hasty.
Now let's be cool! Let's be cool, everybody!
Calm down, son. You don't want to go full Kaepernick.
I ain't even gonna be any trouble. Okay? You just stay right there, and we'll just head on out of here. Okay, look. Unlike me, these colors do not run! Oh, that was a fun little misadventure, wasn't it, my friends? Alright, well, let's march on then. Right now, let's check in with our time-traveling news correspondent, Jasmine Faye, and see what horrors await us in the future. Hello, Jasmine. Nice to see you again.
Oh! Hey, Nicholas!
Glad to see you survived the zombie mutant hordes. How you doing?
We're good. We had a close call with a mechanicized police patrol, but fortunately our forged media credentials fooled them long enough just for us to give them the slip.
Jesus, glad you're okay. What year is it that we have actual fucking RoboCops on the streets?
2030. Yeah. We can thank those pricks at Boston's Dynamics for the police bots, them and the government that decided dumping more money into law enforcement instead of addressing, the fucking thing plaguing humanity. But it's totally worth it. They're kind, cute, and they can do backflips.
Like R2-D2 with a mounted heavy machine gun cute, or Soundwave doing the Thriller dance cute?
Neither. Like ED-209 walking a corgi.
Ah. Oh. Ooh. Well, what else is happening in 2030?
I'll make it quick. From what we've been able to gather, after the chaos of Civil War II, the Republican Party was absorbed by the NRA. And get this, they became the supreme rulers of the National Rifle Association of America in Greater Texas.
What's the flag look like? A thin blue line fucking a Punisher skull fucking a bald eagle while Ted Nugent jerks off in the corner?
Kid Rock. This place is your classic dystopian hellscape with unchecked capitalism and white supremacy. I'm talking no abortions, no sex toys, no drugs, no porn, LGBTQIA plus people. They're illegal, and they established a state religion where Jesus is now a glowing white machine gun on a cross called JC-47.
Wow.
Marks on the stock where the libs drove in the nails.
When you saw only one trail of brass casings, it was then that I was carrying you.
Hey, not to cut things short, but we gotta bounce, okay? We got 2 hours before curfew, and we still need to line up to get our daily rations. I don't want to miss my shows.
What are you watching in 2030?
First, it's Water Wars. Then after that, Blood for Food, Crypto Crip, and Air Conditioned Island, one of my personal faves, followed by some top cannibalism, Chef, Jeopardy, and surprisingly, but not unsurprisingly, The Walking Dead is still on.
These all sound like shows in the Running Man universe.
Exactly. All bred in circuses, last days of Rome shit.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Be careful out there and keep an eye out for the signal. We'll be blipping another care package to you soon.
Bye, Nicholas.
Bye-bye. And now, it's time for our Doom Report film critic Greg Orm with another brilliant collapse-related film review. Enjoy.
Hello, it's me, Greg Orm again. I'm still in my bunker and you can't come here. Today, I'm reviewing the film Basketballs. Hold on. They're holding baseballs. Can you use... That's not a basketball at all. It's not even a basketball court. This is a movie about two drunk young men that don't understand sports, but waste their time frivolously playing them, while the earth burns around them. It's fine, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. We're gonna give it 3 stars.
And now, as promised, that special treat. The first ever interview with the Thwaites Doomsday Glacier, who will be joining us here in the studio via their avatar. Please welcome the Thwaites Glacier.
Call me Tom. Tom Thwaites.
Absolutely. I am tickled all the shades of pink to be speaking with you tonight. I've been reading some very distressing news about you of late, Tom Thwaites. Climate breakdown has just been merciless with you. How are you holding up?
We put up our tent on a glassy rock just outside of Reykjavik. Remains of ships and a sailor's grave. Topping the bill was Shackleton's skeleton and her marvelous penguins in Patagonia.
Interesting. Well, you have so many seals and penguins and such that are really being affected by climate breakdown as well. Have you spoken with any of them about their struggles?
We pounded our stakes into the ground, all powder white, and the northern lights spread out like single-use plastic. We were on a glacier outside the Arctic Sea, and Two-Eyed Ethel, a regular woman. She looked at me sideways with her 2 good eyes and her Greta Thunberg t-shirt, and a polar bear named Pull-Out Sofa.
Ah, man, that's heartbreaking. Please give them all my best. Are you bitter about how the humans in power and the omnipresent capitalistic system has brought the entire globe to the brink of annihilation?
Then there was regular Elaine, queen of the frostbite, who wore a snowflake medallion and had a tiny bubble of crude oil around her nostril, with a frozen junior mint, where she had lassoed and lost another drunken whaler. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty okay about these things, yeah.
Brilliant. Just Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming here today, Tom Thwaites.
Can I have your autograph?
Sure. There you go.
You don't even remember my face. You son of a bitch! You haven't even met your children!
They don't even look like me.
You have turned my heart as cold as your surface, sir! You've ruined me! Ruined me! Oh, God! You've ruined my life, you bastard!
You saved me, Brian.
Those the pants.
Thank you, Pants. I am endenimed to you.
Oh, Pants. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. Alright, welcome back to the Doom Report. I am here with my friend, Colt Smith. He works for the Utah State EPA, and I thought it would be, kind of interesting to get him here in the Doom Garage and, kind of discuss our global plight with climate breakdown and the death spiral of the biosphere, and kind of discuss what we can do beyond going to the poles as just regular folks. And so I'm very, very honored to have him here. Did you have any problems finding the place?
Yeah. You guys, they said on the phone I was talking to the NRDC. It's hard to get a Prius through a barbed wire fence covered in severed Cabbage Patch heads.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, a lot of years of GIS mapping, and that was a new one. But it's still, excited to be here.
Oh, good. We're thrilled to have you, man. So tell us a little about yourself. Background, how you got started.
So I'm an environmental scientist. I kind of fell into it. I worked in policy and politics and got saddled with some pretty heavy issues, public lands and environmental and public health. And then when I went to school, I fell into environmental science. I liked the earth. I liked outside. I liked nature. But yeah, that was the idea, was to save the planet. And then you realize you're just kind of doing hospice care. Like you're a hospice care nurse.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got out of something real serious. I heard it's cuffing season.